Okay, so really great session with Dan. Before I tell you about that, I want to go back and tell you kind of about the odyssey, the journey I've had on the song between our last session a couple months ago and then this session we had most recently. So here's like the odyssey of kind of how I got to today. All right. So I had a really great session with Dan today. We kind of started over, really. Because, we had really good music, but it wasn't right. It wasn't what I was trying to hear. When I wrote the song, I wrote the piano, and then I did all the vocals. Then I put that loop in, and I kind of rocked from there. But it was hard for me to get away from my attachment to the rhythms in the loop, and to find the right collection of natural rhythms, which was my instinct for what should be happening. And like I said, so we made music, but like I said, it wasn't quite right. But one of my instincts was like, I need a real drummer. I reached out to a good friend of mine and was asking him to take a look at it. And, just with everything I had going on with the rhythms in my piano and my loops, and, so he was talking to me about, looking to revise some of the rhythms in the pianos, but I wasn't ready to let some of those things go. So I was working on another project with another colleague of mine. And, we were in the room, so I was just on the piano and I was like, just tell me if you can what you can find with this. And, and ended up finding a lot of things that I really worked and that I was able then to apply to my session today with Dan, and it really just unlocked a lot of things. I'm open to, the musicianship of my colleagues, that's why I reach out to them. So I was open to, my first friends' thoughts about, there's not a lot of space in here. So I appreciated that, because then I could think about the song differently and really think about, all right, well, am I carrying too many rhythms here? And maybe I'll discover that at another point. It opened my mind to where I could go, but there were certain things that I wanted in the piano. I like themes in my songs and instrumental themes in my songs, and the instrumental hook, I decided at least part of it's going to live in the piano. I might be I'm probably pairing some of it out and adding some guitars, and that's kind of per his advice. But before that, I needed to hear some percussive things, and so since I was in the room, I was glad I was able to capture some stuff and just kind of started over, stripped it down, started over, applied some new pieces, some new parts, applied some new loops. But I'm very excited about what we managed to execute today. I had an idea of carrying the verses with guitar, but when we were trying that, as you'll see, it just really wasn't working for me. So I think the piano is still going to carry, but now that means it has to do some different things. More things than I was doing. Okay. But yeah.